So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 5 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to talk about today include Spider-Man 2's potential release date leaking, Call of Duty coming to PlayStation Plus news, Last of Us 3 is apparently in the works, the PlayStation 5 Model Upgrade, and PlayStation AllStars 2. First, yes or no, would you want a Last of Us Part 3 or not? We're going to talk about this in the video, but before we get into the details there, I want to know if you guys actually want a third Last of Us game. I personally want something new from Naughty Dog, and we'll talk about that as well, but that's just me, how I feel. What about you guys? So comment below yes or no if you'd want Last of Us 3 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, huge PlayStation Plus news. Reading from Video Game Chronicle, Microsoft has reportedly offered Sony the rights to offer Call of Duty on its PlayStation Plus subscription service. That's according to Bloomberg, which claims that the offer has been made in an effort to appease the US's FTC and get its $69 billion acquisition of Activision Blizzard approved. Bloomberg understands that Sony has yet to accept the deal as it continues to fight against the merger, which would see Microsoft take control of the industry's largest third-party and one of its largest franchises. So, seeing how desperate Xbox is willing to go to close this deal, I think Sony doesn't feel the need to accept anything just yet, I guess. They obviously don't want Xbox to take over Call of Duty, period. And beyond that, Microsoft knows that Sony wouldn't want to release Call of Duty Day 1 on PlayStation Plus. They'd lose a lot of money there compared to... Microsoft is fine with losing money considering how big the company is, but of course Sony's in a different situation. So, Microsoft is throwing whatever they can to speed up this deal. I can't blame them. Of course, you got to do what you got to do for the business. Similar to like how they offered Nintendo a 10-year deal when they haven't had Call of Duty or cared about Call of Duty in forever on that platform. But regardless, let's see how this plays out over the next year. Now, diving into the second story of the video, Spider-Man 2 release date leaks. So this is a quick story. Insomniac Games writer Jamie Mayer had fall 2023 on her website as the release date for Spider-Man 2. The internet, of course, caught wind of this. She noticed and updated her site to now just say 2023. I think most of us felt late 2023 would be the release date for Spider-Man 2, and I think if it wasn't for CV, Spider-Man 2 would have been out by now, since Insomniac Games has, of course, multiple teams working on multiple games, meaning Spider-Man 2 has been in the works for 4 years, potentially, by the time it releases next year, late 2023. Obviously, this isn't confirmed. However, I think we kind of guessed it'd be a late 2023 release date anyways. But you guys let me know if you're surprised to see Spider-Man 2 for late 2023 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the third story of the video, PlayStation AllStars 2. So this is another quick story. People on Reset Era are talking about the possibility of PlayStation AllStars returning with PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2, the game that I think we've all been saying should come back for years. It's crazy. It's been 10 years since the original game released on PlayStation 3. Now, this rumor comes from an iffy source, a somewhat iffy source, but in the hopes that it does happen, I wanted to talk about it. Rythian over on Twitter stated this recently. Sources, PlayStation Studios is interested in a sequel to PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale thanks to their acquisition of Evo. He then lists the potential characters that could be in the game. I've heard he's gotten some things right. We also know he's gotten some things wrong, like supposed insiders we've talked about in the past. Regardless, the logic that Sony acquiring Evo, a fighting competition, led them to wanting their own Smash title again isn't a crazy thought. Based on what he said, it doesn't even seem like the game is greenlit. There's an idea there, there's interest, but they need to greenlight the project first. But there's definitely interest there, which isn't crazy to say that either. I hope Sony does go through with it. The PS3 era was a great one. Sony pumped out so many interesting new titles, with one of them being, of course, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. And now diving into the fourth story of the video, Last of Us 3 in the works. Reading from Push Square, a reliable insider has claimed the studio's head honcho Neil Druckmann is busy beavering away at the third entry in the Last of Us series. Viewer Anon, who's credited with many movie and video game related leaks, posted the hot gossip up on Twitter? Well, I'm not watching anything, so Dr. Uckman's next game is The Last of Us Part 3, which is currently in production at Naughty Dog, said viewer Anon on Twitter as a reply to his own tweet, waiting to get early access to The Last of Us show, or he'd leak information, which I guess is this. So if we're taking this as credible information, that could mean these are the titles that are currently in the works at Naughty Dog. Factions 2, Last of Us Part 3 by Neil Druckmann, and a third new IP not handled by Neil Druckmann, which has been in the works for a while apparently. We know that Neil already said a while back he had the outline for the story for Part 3, so they probably started work on it not too long ago, especially when you see The Last of Us remake is out the door now. That team could probably have moved over to Neil's team. I personally don't need or want a part 3, as you guys already know, after part 2, but that's just my situation again. I'm looking forward to their new IP, which seems to be further in development, and of course, Factions 2. And now diving into the final story of the video, the new PlayStation 5 model upgrade. So we've talked about this new PlayStation 5 set to come out next year that will merge the digital and disc PlayStation 5 into one model. This new PlayStation 5 will have a detachable drive, so you can buy it without a drive and get one later and attach it to use disc-based products and, get those discounts in retail stores. The latest on this story is that it's set to possibly be announced soon. Here's what the original source, Tom Henderson, said recently. A small update on the PlayStation 5 that has a detachable drive. I've heard from 2 people now that the test kit is in people's hands and it works flawlessly. We should hear more about it officially soon. So the part where he says we should hear more about it officially soon, this might mean we could see it at CES 2023, which is in a few weeks. It's in early January. PlayStation has been getting more involved in CES in recent years, but I was hoping PlayStation VR 2 would be the main focus of PlayStation's presence at CES 2023, which could still be the case, of course, with this new PlayStation 5 just being a trailer, to showcase what it's about. It's a detachable drive, PlayStation blog post, and there you go. Pre-orders start this time, and this is when it's going to release. That could be the case for that. PlayStation VR 2 really needs to be the focus, considering this thing comes out in February, which is not long from now. But of course, let's see how the next few weeks go. But you guys let me know if you're interested in this new detachable drive PlayStation 5 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with bring on the news. With PlayStation 5 detachable drive, CES coming, PlayStation VR 2, potentially, new information on Spider-Man 2. Hopefully, if it's not this year, hopefully it's early next year we get information on Spider-Man 2, maybe via an actual event from PlayStation that they possibly delayed because whatever, I'm not going to say the reason, Activision, whatever it may be, because they have to have some new information coming for Spider-Man 2 if it's releasing in late 2023. But if you're excited for all the potential news set to come out, maybe in the next few weeks from PlayStation, in the early new year, destroy the comment section with bring on the news, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.